SolarEdge recently launched the SolarEdge Home, their DC optimized smart home ecosystem. I'm Emily with EnergySage, and I'm here with Michelle Spina today to learn what installers should know about this new launch.
Welcome, Michelle. I'm excited to be talking to you today about the new SolarEdge Home and what it means for solar installers.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So to get started, can you help us out here and in a nutshell, explain what SolarEdge Home is exactly and why you're rolling this out?
Sure. Well, we kind of live in the age of add-ons, right? We always want to kind of grow with our energy appetite, and homeowners specifically have changing needs in their utility and their energy needs, and we're becoming an electrified world. So this is allowing us to have multiple components besides just standard solar, but it allows homeowners to add on products like batteries, EV chargers, smart switches to manage their devices. And then they're able to manage all these devices from one app, My SolarEdge.
That's great. So can you go into a little bit more detail about what these components are and how this system differs from a typical solar plus storage installation?
Sure. So this gives the homeowner the ability to have up to really 9 batteries on the system if they need it. So they can maybe add 1, 2 today, and then they can add up to 9 as they need to. So it really allows homeowners to expand to a very robust system as needed. Also, our EV charger, level 2 charger, so it's a fast charger, is fully integrated into the solar system. So it charges from excess PV energy if there is more production than the home is consuming, which is really cool. And we have these smart switches and relays that allow for homeowners to manage these heavy devices. So things like air conditioners. I don't know if you've seen, the ability to turn off things like ACs remotely from your phone. So we have all of that integrated into our environment, into our ecosystem, so that the homeowner really manages it from one app as opposed to multiple apps. Say, if you have a different EV charger, et cetera, you'd have to have multiple different ways to manage them.
That's awesome. Can you talk a little bit about why installers should choose to install a DC coupled system versus an AC coupled system? And some of the situations in which the SolarEdge Home is most ideal?
Sure. So with a DC coupled solution, installers are really getting the most efficient system on the market possible. So there's generally about a 5 to 7% efficiency difference on our battery system when compared to an AC coupled solution. It's really because there's only one conversion of energy before we can use it in the house. So it allows us to have a more efficient system than the competition. But for installers specifically, another advantage is that all of those components, those smart energy devices, sit on the DC side of the inverter. So it allows us to only take breaker space with that inverter as opposed to individual components. So we're avoiding main panel upgrades and other electrical upgrades that are a challenge for projects. And it allows them to oversize the inverter to up to 200%. So if that homeowner wants to expand, or they want a smaller inverter but a larger system, they can actually expand to over 200%. And the reason why we can do that is because that DC excess energy that would normally be clipped, we can actually utilize that to charge the battery. So we're really using the energy intelligently throughout the system. And that's kind of the advantage of DC coupling.
One question based on that is, with the 200%, is that based on the jurisdiction? Does it have any limitations based on where you're located, or can you do that anywhere?
Yeah, in some areas, you are limited by the nameplate rating of the inverter, but the 200% is actually an advantage in that case as well. Most of the jurisdiction limitations are like on a 10 kW nameplate rating on an inverter, for example, and that's on the AC nameplate rating. So when you're able to oversize on the DC side, you can actually put like a 20 kW system on a 10 kW inverter, and it would still be in compliance.
It's a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
According to our most recent solar marketplace intel report, we found that resiliency is a major driver of storage interest for our solar shoppers. Is the SolarEdge Home designed for full home backup, or is it more for critical loads? And how do you recommend that installers help homeowners understand which loads to prioritize?
Sure. So, I mean, simplest terms, we always think of, one battery being kind of an essential loads, critical loads piece. Two batteries would be kind of essential loads plus. So you can maybe have one or two heavier loads. And then when you start thinking about those central ACs or heaters, those heavier loads like pool pumps, that's when you need that 3 batteries plus. And with SolarEdge, you have the opportunity to do those critical loads if you want, or you can do whole home backup. So we can put up to 3 inverters per backup interface on our system and up to 3 batteries per inverter. So that installer has the ability to go up to 9. That is, more than enough for whole home in a lot of cases. We are actually have a couple installations that are 8 or 9 battery systems, people with multiple central ACs and heaters. So, it tends to be excessive, but 3 to 4 batteries generally is enough for whole home backup.
Is it still considered the SolarEdge Home if it's not full home backup? What components does somebody need in order for that to be the SolarEdge Home?
Sure. So you're a part of SolarEdge Home, if you have the home hub inverter. So we really like to think of just the starting point as that home hub inverter, because that's going to give the homeowner the ability to be flexible, to add things on as they want. And that's really the start of SolarEdge Home. And that will give them the ability to add on those products.
And is it possible for an installer to retrofit a SolarEdge Home system to an existing solar system, or does it have to be installed completely new?
Sure. So if it's an existing SolarEdge system, let's say they have a standard PV only inverter on that, the recommendation would be to swap out that inverter with a home hub inverter and add on the batteries from there. That totally works. If it's not a SolarEdge system, retrofitting would be a big challenge. We wouldn't recommend it. But a lot of our customers right now are going back to existing homeowners and upgrading their system because they want a solar expansion anyways. I'm sure you see a lot that homeowners are looking for an expansion even 1 year after they go solar. So a lot of people are taking advantage of the fact that they can go back to those homeowners, swap out the inverter with a larger home hub inverter, add batteries, add solar from there. So they're taking that opportunity to upgrade them.
Do you have any idea of how long that retrofit takes, like upgrading to a SolarEdge Home system?
In terms of installation?
Yeah.
Yeah, so retrofit, I don't necessarily know how long that takes, but we do have some installers right now that are installing our battery. Another advantage of DC coupling, what we're hearing in the market is it's simpler to install and commission than an AC coupled solution. We have some installers right now that are installing these batteries within a day, which has been, a big advantage. We haven't seen that in the past before with battery systems. So we have many that are installing within a day with our system right now.
That's great. And do these installers get any access to additional data through SolarEdge Home?
Yeah, so the SolarEdge Home Hub inverter has a built-in production and consumption meter. That's an advantage for the homeowner themselves, so they can see production and consumption both within their app. I would say the visibility on the monitoring portal side for installers, they have the ability to manage some of the battery specifications within their portal, so they can manage, if they're going to put that homeowner on backup only mode, self-consumption, maximizing self-consumption, and those types of profiles. They can manage the backup reserve levels within the monitoring portal, but they have the same great monitoring portal access that they already have, where they can see the layout view of our entire system, all of the components broken down, as well as the production and consumption on, a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis.
That's awesome. So let's say that a homeowner has something go wrong with one of the components in the system. How does that warranty work? And what should installers know about how the warranty fits together for all the various components?
I mean, that's another advantage of SolarEdge Home really, is that they're working with one vendor for all of their components, which hasn't been the case in the past. I mean, even with smart energy devices and just solar in general, it's always kind of been a Franken solar situation where we're calling, different vendors for everything. And that's been an advantage with SolarEdge Home because they're calling, the installer is able to call SolarEdge for the majority of the products on that ecosystem, besides the modules, essentially. So, all of our products, the optimizers on the roof, 25-year warranty. Our inverter can be extended. Many of our customers extend that warranty to 25 years, comes 12-year standard. Our battery has a 10-year, 70% capacity retention warranty with unlimited cycles, which is a big advantage for homeowners. So they can charge and discharge that as many times as they want. And then our EV charger has an industry-leading 5-year warranty. So that's exceptional in the market. Generally, we see about 2 to 4 years standard on EV chargers.
Great. Across our marketplace, we've seen a lot of equipment disruptions due to supply chain constraints. So given that, can you talk a little bit about if all the components of the SolarEdge Home are currently available and where can installers get them?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell me about supply constraints. Yeah, we've seen them all across the board too. And so luckily the battery itself, which has been, a huge challenge in the markets, supply on batteries just over the last 2 years, our battery is readily available in distribution. Our installers can call their local distributor and order these right away. They're in their warehouses. One of the reasons we can do that is we have a battery manufacturing plant specifically for our residential battery that's pumping out these batteries and ensuring availability. The EV charger, I will say that the demand is so high that supply has been challenged in some areas, but we have increased production on those. And I would be remiss to not point out, we also have a new manufacturing plant in Mexico that just opened in the last quarter or so that is producing the majority of our North America products. So that's really allowed us to keep those supply constraints low and, not have those issues with our ships at port, things like that, that we were challenged with, a year ago.